Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. Hello, my name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. I have two very special guests today. I have Andrea Squibb, and she's an honors graduate of HMR's College of Hypnotherapy. And she's brought with her today her client, Lyle Scosi. Now, Lyle is a producer, and he came to see Andrea for stress management. Please help me welcome my guest. Now, Lyle, tell me, what was going on in your life that brought you into hypnotherapy?
Well, I was in the middle of doing a documentary which I've just finished, a documentary which involved a lot of travel around the world and raising finance for. And at the same time, my wife and I had finally found a house, our first house, which was a bit of a fixer. So I was going through two big projects at the exact same time, stressing out about money, traveling a lot, not eating properly, and my stress level was just, my blood pressure had gone up physically as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why did you decide on hypnotherapy to help you manage the stress?
Well, when I was younger, I wasn't quite athletic, and I remember back how my coaches would often use what they called, I can't remember what it was, athletic imprinting or whatever, but we would listen to a tape and you'd picture yourself, I was a fencer, so we'd pick yourself doing a specific action and you'd go to sleep listening to that action and then and visualizing it. And then the next day in practice or a competition, you could actualize that almost immediately. And I realized I'd never thought of it as hypnosis at the time.
Sure.
But then when I met a common friend who mentioned hypnotherapy to me for stress, I thought, well, why couldn't that also, when we go back to that thing that worked for me before as a child, I could work now and to be a success as an adult.
Excellent. Now, Andrea, what kind of methods or techniques did you use with Lyle to help with his stress management?
Well, we did a lot of guided imagery. Lyle is very high energy and creative, and so I thought the guided imagery would work well for him. Mm-hmm. He loves to read, so we did some guided imagery in a library setting. We did the control room, which was going into his mind and kind of tweaking different things in his subconscious with his energy levels or his health or stress. Creating a special place where he could go to relax, those kinds of things.
So you mentioned three very unique and wonderful types of guided imagery. Which ones resonated with you?
Well, I really love the you call it guided imagery because she doesn't often tell me the technical term. Uh-huh. But going into myself, my control room, and I imagine a specific space with dials and levers that I could control my own my body, my own stress levels.
What did it look like, your control room?
Oh, it's great. It's a big Gothic like university with vaulted windows and leaded glass windows and books everywhere and Tesla coils and dials and knobs and brass and marble tables
And what were the different things labeled that you were able to control in your control room?
Yeah, Andrea would create those for me, and and I'd say she'd take me, now look over there because your stress knob is there, and what does it look like? And mine was like a big brass knob to turn. I could turn it up or down. Then we looked into things. What was it?
Energy levels.
Energy levels. I could turn it down a bit. Procrastination, and they're all different dials and health and.
Wow, and you also just talked about a special place. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I would walk out of my control room and out the door into my special place was like a lovely sort of romantic garden with moss and marble benches and tall trees and very green and mystical and dark and owls and little fairies kind of world. And my spirit guide too.
Your spirit guide, yes, came to him.
That's right. She asked me. How did you ask me to do that?
I mentioned that if you were comfortable, you could invite in maybe your higher self or your spirit guide, or.
And you could actually, and it turns out my higher self is a female figure that's very ethereal, and you can speak to her and she can speak to you.
So did you get some wisdom from your higher self or your inner guide?
Yeah.
What kind of things?
Well, I'll tell you what's more important to me is that, as opposed to the specific thing that day, is that I'm now able to go back to that place when I do need something. You know, I can myself lay down in bed and before at night and go back into that special place or go back into my control room, and I'm able to recall, you know, for specific, you know, even, well, here's one thing I find very interesting.
Yes.
Is that I can go to my special place before I sleep, go to my control room, go to my, you know, speak to my spirit guide, and I can wake up and have actually solved certain creative and logistical problems that I didn't even know I was going to solve.
So you went in for stress management, and by using some of the self-hypnosis techniques, you had a byproduct of being able to do some problem solvings when you wake up from sleep. Tell us about that.
I mean, that's what I don't even remember that. It's only because you reminded me that I went there for stress management that I came back, because now I just think of it as a really great, you know, of course my stress level is lower, and that's helping me be more creative, I imagine. I'm not an expert at this. But, you know, I could be working on the house or working on the film, or I had a trap door that I wanted to keep, that the contractor was telling me, oh, you got to get rid of this trap door because it's going to have hinges, you're going to trip on it, it's going to have a lock. And my buddy's saying, no, people can come up to the trap door underneath the house and into your house through there. And so I'm thinking, you know, my contractor, 35 years, can't solve this problem. But I go to sleep and I literally wake up, and the first thought is, I know exactly what to do. An internal hinge and a door latch for locks instead of a paddle lock, and you know, and I solved this problem. Told my contractor, who's been at this for 35 years, and he was kind of amazed that because I'm not really that handy, but I solved a problem that my professional contractor couldn't solve, you know, creatively when I woke up.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I found it kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Too.
Anything else with problem solving?
Recently, I've been looking for a new agent, for example, and I was thinking, you know, geez, I could go through, you know, ICM and go through lists of who I like and what does that agent do. And then it occurred to me, why don't I just go to the producers who I admire the most and find those producers and who represents them and just target exactly them, because we're all going to be in the same. It's little simple things like that that could have been used as procrastination before to make a list or do that, whatever. But instead I say, I'll just go to the source of that. Know what I like.
And that actually came out of a hypnotic session.
That's right. I was actually in the middle of the hypnotic session. Right.
That is wild. So as you reduced your stress, it kind of opened up more energy for problem solving and creativity.
Yeah, I don't know if I use the word energy when I describe it. I mean, I think of it more like there's things blocking your way that sort of open up, like you're going through you're going through the woods or whatever, and you didn't realize, oh, it's right. The stream is right there that you were looking for. You know, that'll be just things sort of open up different parts that were closed off before.
Yes. You mentioned something I had never heard before, that you used with Lyle, a guided imagery called the library.
Yes.
Tell us, what is that?
Well, it's another guided imagery technique, and Lyle likes to read, so I thought it would be good for him. Once he was really relaxed, I had him visualize and imagine, picture himself inside of a library of his choice. I gave him some, you know, description or cues, but he kind of came up with the rest on his own. And then we had him descend several flights, going deeper into relaxation with each flight down into the library, and eventually ending up in a very relaxing chair, and coming to his own personal stacks of his life, an aisle where one end was his early life from birth and the other end was more present. And in the hypnotic trance, he was able to go through, and we started with positives of his life, you know, pulling out books that represented, you know, good positive things that happened, memories, kind of building his confidence.
And also using those as anchors?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
but other than the positive books, what else did you find?
Well, we had talked about some things he might want to let go of that weren't useful for him anymore, maybe habits or past memories.
So what did you do with those books, and those books with the negatives that you want to get rid of?
Well, I certainly didn't burn them because I'm against that.
Oh, excellent.
But I filed them away for, you know, later reference in case I could use
saw
them
the
to help
end.
someone else. Yeah, that's right.
You went to the end of the book?
Yes,
I
read
didn't
the
want to read
end.
that again. Yeah, you turned it to the library.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Was that a helpful imagery for you?
Oh, I mean, very helpful. I mean, even knowing that those, like I said, books are there as a reference because other people might have these same kind of problems to look back on too.
I love that. Well, tell us a little bit about the project you're working on right now, or the one that you just finished.
Yeah, the one I just finished is called The Truth Is Out There. It's a documentary we built as The Truth Is Out There, Comedy, Consciousness, Conspiracy.
My 3 favorite words.
Yeah, there they
There they are.
We were the first to really get comedy and consciousness and conspiracy all together in one movie. It's starring Dean Haglund from the
X-Files.
X-Files. That's right, lone gunman. He was one of the conspiracy theorist guys who's still involved in. In fact, we have him go through therapy as well during the movie.
I love
And
it.
then we have during the movie as he journeys around the world and meets different people who are involved in searching for the truth, different conspiracies, and we go to Berlin and Canada and everywhere. Just
Wow, I love it. I can't wait to see it.
Well, that can I mention? In fact, I just realized that the next project I'm working on right now is I've actually solved the mystery of the lost Ark of the Covenant, which came to me also through creative hypnotherapy, where I'm not saying I imagined where the Ark is buried or whatever, but through all the research I was doing, I woke up and solved the problem. Like for example, the text in the documents are telling you. That's an example where the hypnotherapy opens up that you've been reading it right in front of your face, but you didn't see it was right there. And it opens up sort of another way of interpreting something and say, oh my goodness, it's right there.
Well, my goodness, Andrea, everyone is going to want to come and experience your unique methods of hypnotherapy. I know, that they can reach you under Andrea Squibb at hmigrads.com.
Right.
In addition to people being able to come in and visit you in your office in LA, do you have any other method that you can help people who are far away or even international?
Yeah, I have created a very effective way of working on issues over the phone. with people.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're out of time for today. But please stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to talk more about how people are using hypnosis today. Thank you. That was a talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. Hello, my name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. I have two very special guests today. I have
Exact same time, stressing out about money, traveling a lot, not eating properly, and my stress level was just, my blood pressure had gone up physically as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why did you decide on hypnotherapy to help you manage the stress
Well, when I was younger, I wasn't quite athletic.
in your life that brought you into hypnotherapy?
Well, I was in the middle of doing a documentary which I've just finished. Documentary which involved a lot of travel around the world and raising finance for. And at the same time, my wife and I had finally found a house, our first house, which was a bit of a fixer. So I was going through two big projects.
Andrea Squibb, and she's an honors graduate of HMI's College of Hypnotherapy. And she's brought with her today her client, Lyle Scosi. Now, Lyle is a producer, and he came to see Andrea for stress management. Please help me welcome my guest. Now, Lyle, tell me what was going on. Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV